My parents really explaining what was going on. They never sat us down and talked about it. My first incident of really feeling the tragedy of the Vietnam War was when I was in sixth grade, and I had a friend named Bill, and I went to his house to play afterwards, and we were playing, and I had no idea who Bill was. His mom was home, and so we went in. We were doing things in the house, and then Bill took me into his parents' house, and he opened up the closet, and there was his father's uniform, and he was in the Air Force, and he was shot down and never found, and so that was like, wow, my friend. That was the first real tangible sense,
Like,
I was
this is
scared. I was
yeah.
scared. I mean, this kid's dad is not there for him.
Right.
As a little kid, I mean, you process it differently, but seeing his uniform was still in perfect, probably like it was from the cleaners. It looked from the cleaners, and he had his hat on top of their mantle. And yeah, Bill never saw his father. Really was very young when his father was killed. Any curriculum or any discussion about the war.
Yeah.
Don't know. Yeah, that was not part of any of the curriculum. Of course, this was elementary school. Now, what they did in the higher, it was definitely discussed on college campuses because they were totally upside down. But no, it was, that was the weird thing about that war. I mean, a lot of stuff in society went on as normal. Little kids went to school, little kids did their homework,
Yeah.
little kids played their games, moms and dads were moms and dads, and your attachment to the war was what was seen on TV at night and what was in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like I say, a lot of society moved on as though there was no war going on at all in this crazy place. Well, there was a difference because World War II, we had been attacked, and we were fighting to preserve our country. Vietnam War, I mean, if you didn't have someone fighting in the Vietnam War, it was life as usual. People went to work. You heard about the war, and I'll get into that later, about the news and how the media covered the war. But I can remember reading or talking to our next door neighbor who served the war, and he was on leave in Hawaii, and he just spent, I think, a 6-month tour on ground, in Vietnam, and they went to Hawaii on leave, and they were just amazed at how everything was normal. I mean, here you got these terrible things happening in the Vietnam War, but not too far away from this land that nobody was really knew anything about. Life in the United States for many people just was normal. When World War II, the whole country was consumed and dedicated to that war effort. Vietnam War, there was a totally different struggle because there was huge protests and riots, so you didn't have a country unified
Mm-hmm.
for one purpose in the Vietnam era.